Well, welcome back, everyone. I did not expect that game to end so damn quickly, but Dignitas, I mean, they kind of just took the game from Wildcard and gave them no room to breathe. I mean, goddamn.
Yeah, they had a game plan and they executed it, Rafa, and they executed damn well. I mean, send XU towards that bottom lane, say, hey, you're not allowed to come into this lane and take any of our good old hard-earned farm and gold. And, well, it was just a gold rush for the bottom lane of Dignitas.
Hey, all right, Josh. Let me hear your on-the-range voice, because we're clearly leaning to the bit.
Oh, boy. Well, honestly, the way that Dignitas was playing that one, the way that they had their bot laners, you got Tomo, you got Diamond, they were just coming around, they were just corralling all these young guns, Lens, Dual King. They couldn't really do anything, you know?
They gotta work on it, Josh.
I don't do accents well.
I like the impression, and I almost imagine you like chewing on a toothpick there, just the way you're.
You gotta get that little at the very end.
Got a little spittoon on the left side there. Oh man, Mazel, I know you're on the other series, buddy. Make sure you are. If you have the the monitor estate, make sure you're watching both, not only Challengers League, but also our other games over on twitch.tv/path to LCS. Got some bangers over there. CLG is playing over on that stream currently at the moment. Mazel, our boys over there. But the other big thing, gentlemen, is we do have our halftime show, and
wrong end.
And frankly, Dignitas not only ended the game so fast, but ended the game so cleanly that there weren't many moments for me to really go and prep this segment. Where, for those that don't know, this halftime show is called Recall, where I'm going to be challenging Deserux's and Joshi's knowledge about how the game went based only on the sound of the call and the commentary that was being made. They're not going to get a visual. I'm going to be playing a sound clip from following moments in the game where it's just their commentary. You might be able to hear a little bit of the game sounds, but it's mostly just the commentary. I'm going to give them 1 second, see if they can guess it off of that. I'll then up it to 3 seconds. If they can't guess it off of that, I'll give it to 5 seconds. And afterwards, if they still can't get that, then they just don't pay attention to their own calls. And I don't know what it means about the call.
I don't even pay attention to Eric's calls when we're casting.
Shows, Josh.
Oh, damn.
You sometimes talk about something and you talk about the same exact thing I've exposed to, Josh.
No. There's some...
Valentine's Day is over. It's time to fight again.
Uh-oh.
I didn't realize we had beef.
Well. Let's get into the first soundbite. Here's the first second of the first clip.
That's something that Tomo. That's something that Tomo.
I want to say when Diamond flashed in for the engage when Duo had his splashdown, and Tomo just cleans up afterwards on the Xayah.
Can you be specific? Where
bot
was
lane
this?
2v2 play, Diamond flash, Rakan knock up, Tomo kill.
I actually think it's a little bit later than that. I think it's when Tomo, after they kill Duo King, Lens is trying to farm, and Tomo steps up and says, "Back the F up, you can't farm this wave." And
That's
he goes
it.
for the ult.
That's it. I can't show the. I don't have the tech to show you the clip, but the full clip sounds like this.
That's something that Tomo in 2022 would have never done.
Yeah,
right?
that's what it was.
Some kind of growth coming through this much more veteran player, stepping up and saying, "You cannot farm this wave." Here it is.
Boom.
There you go.
Well done, Josh. Well done.
Yeah, because that was the one soundbite I remember. It's like, that's something that 2022 Tomo would not have done.
And I think it's an important moment for us to have a conversation about where, when we look back at Tomo's FlyQuest 2022 run on the Academy roster, now Challengers roster, there's moments where we just wondered, Tomo, what are you doing, bro? Like, what happened here? I recall specifically a moment where he took a Realm War by himself and threw away a game, and it was just like, we had higher expectations. But the fact that Tomo is having a great rebound, a great revitalization going into the 2023 roster, makes him look like an incredible prospect, not just because he's paired with Diamond again, but because he actually is making great individual decisions. So love to see the growth.
Yeah.
And it's always, not appreciated when someone, quote unquote, already had their moment of greatness and then, took a plummet in the career. It's always about the spring back. So
Tomo kind of seemed like going into summer, he was going to be the standard, he was going to be the bar. A lot of the early play that we had in summer kind of established that, but it felt like, yeah, they did fall flat leading into the rest of summer. But now going into Dignitas and this whole new take, I respect it a lot. Tomo does look developed and ready to play.
Yep. And that leads into our second call of the game. I'm going to see how well you can get it off of the first second.
Right. Tomo.
The gold. I remember saying this.
The gold.
I was freaking out at the bot lane gold difference, but I don't remember what was happening when I said that. I remember the camera like panning from Rift Herald to mid lane or something like. I don't remember exactly.
Was this when they were taking they had already swapped and they took the top lane turret as well?
Yeah. It's pretty. What happened recently was they were attacking the turret. They pushed Linz and Duo off. Keel came up, tried to salvage it, and got cut off. And so they just ended up feeding more gold into Tomo. And
wait, so was it that fourth play, or was it actually taking the turret?
It was the fourth play.
Okay.
And then after Tomo collects another bounty or collects more gold, that's when our wonderful observers throws up the gold graph.
Tomo.
Gold.
Gold coming through. I mean, he's up nearly 3,000 gold. Dignitas. This is the revival for sure of Tomo, right? We were really kind of asking where the veteran was in 2022 when they were playing with Flycut. They were getting.
Yep, and it just continues further into the conversation about like this is the revitalization of Tomo. Tomo is having an incredible bounce back season.
I just love that. The gold.
Yeah, that's why I really love. Dude, the gold.
Shocked me, man. What can I say? I got jump scare moments. It includes seeing gold graphs as well.
Yeah. All right. I just want to check our time here. I think we got time for one more, and this one's a little fun one. All right. 1 second.
Play the clip. Play the clip, and then we'll go.
Too fast.
Oh, that's the Saligo solo kill. Yeah.
Boom. Yeah.
Steps away from the shockwave, and it's Hoon in time in the top lane, baby. Hoon will get the solo on.
Boom.
Boom.
Hoon having a, he wasn't the standout performer on the Lee Sin top lane, but he had a couple of flashy moments. You know, he had some spice there, so it's always nice to see a little bit of star power, especially for consider this was our super heavyweight SmackDown. We didn't really see a lot of solo bolo action between Hoon and Moose Hater. There's a couple times even on the tower we kicked him away, but both managed to live. But I mean, truly, Tomo was kind of the big carry for this game. And now we're going to see if Dignitas Challengers can carry that momentum forward as they take on Wildcard once again in our second game of the series.
You know what? I will say, it's not the most spicy, but it's still a little bit of spice here and there. It's kind of like jalapeno spice. What I'm looking for is habanero spice, and hopefully we can get that in this next game, Josh.
Yeah, we'll see what we can get, right? I'm expecting pretty similar bans coming up from Dignitas, and it is worth noting that we were touching this up as one of the top of the table matchups. This is meaning that Dignitas, as of today, will maintain sole possession of first place, and nobody will be able to catch them because they started today 2 games ahead of everybody else in second place, and now they will be 3 games ahead of Wildcard. And I don't remember the other stream. Is Cloud9 playing today? Cloud9 is playing today. They're going up against AoE, but they will not be able to catch Dignitas today.
All right, so nice for Dignitas, something you can be happy about going into this game number 2. You can be happy about that draft from game number 1 as well, which they are going to throw back a little bit, more specifically with fans not allowing any of that to go through. They'll take the Ashe.
Yeah, Ashe coming through. This was something that Lens and Duo King were able to play last game, and to their credit, Duo King had some pretty cool moments, but now it is going to be the Zyra and the Ezreal coming through. Definitely something a little bit less aggressive early game as much as it is suffocating, right? It's not as likely to kill you as much as it is likely to just prevent you from playing. And while we wait for the Katarina hover, come on, next to you, there you go. While we are waiting for that, it is definitely going to be a spot now where I'm kind of expecting a little bit more pressure to be coming out from Hoon early on, right? Even with the Fiora that was played here by Moose Hater, like, it wasn't the Moose Hater that we knew and loved from 2022 when they were beating up Tenacity as widely considered the best top laner in the league at the time. This Moose Hater, just kind of went out with a little bit of a whimper. I'm hoping we can get a little bit more aggression coming out from the top side from both of our super heavyweight smackdowners.
He got out Moose Hatered, is what I'm going to say onto that one, because the Lee Sin pick was kind of a curveball to come out of nowhere. Oh, we're Frosty Nomad again. He's bringing it back. He done did it. The Nunu was brought before. It's going to be his second time playing it. So Wildcard. They're going for the spicier picks. I wanted the habanero, and they're bringing the ghost pepper.
I remember last time we saw the Nunu come through from Wildcard is ended up having 3 Radiant Virtues on the team, and I remember the communications. I've heard so many different people reacting to that game. One of my favorite ones was I heard that Mark was talking with Jat, because they work on the, Mark might work on LCS now rather consistently, but he had an opportunity, and Jat took a look and was like, wait, 3 Radiant Virtues? You're never going to kill any of these guys. Like, they win the game despite the fact that they were like 2,000 or 3,000 gold behind. We'll see if Dignitas can actually find a position where they can overcome that, because I'm expecting Wildcard to go for something kind of similar. It's not like they're lacking for damage.
Oh, no. So interesting Wildcard's drafts get after so many games that we've had here on NACL. We keep getting surprised by the stuff they pull out. Second phase of the draft right now. So going to take away that Gnar from Hoon as well as the Kassadin from Insanity. Going after the solo lanes, as we did have the bot lane drafts coming out in the first phase right here. XU does have a lot of dive potential, so I'm curious what the solo lane, especially what Hoon is going to get once we do get past these bans.
Yeah, I wonder if this is going to be a Fiora ban, right? Because with the Gnar ban, it definitely looks as though they're kind of setting up for that for Moose Hater. And now that it is not banned, I'm kind of expecting them to grab that here just to make sure that they have something that Moose Hater is comfortable in. They don't give it over towards the other side unless they have a prepared counter pick going into the Fiora. And so, as we do see the Orianna get selected coming out for Saligo once again, the Azir was the answer from Insanity in Game 1, but in fact, they're the ones that banned it away. And Orianna is a character that just scales really, really well into the game, and Dignitas have committed to playing towards the earlier stages.
Orianna has been one of those champions that is still very well-rounded and strong, regardless of what meta she's in. Even if she falls out of popularity, does bring quite the team fight and control. For Hoon, it's going to be the Jace lock in. So this allows an interesting take for Moose Hater to try and get something specifically for that lane if they do want to counter pick there. The flexibility, again, is there, so you could technically flex it into the mid.
Yeah, but you have to show both of your solo laners here.
Yeah,
so
but
like,
exactly. So let's wait for it. Let the timer come out, and it's going to be Fiora.
Okay, that makes more sense. The one thing that I was kind of looking at here, it should be... I would be very surprised if Insanity played it mid lane. The only character I would really expect him to ever do that would be up against like a Sylas, maybe. But I was a little worried about the Jace, right? Because Jace has a lot of counter picks up in the top side, and now we're going to be seeing another Moose Hater special coming through, as it is going to be the Poppy top lane. Sloppy Poppy is going to be looking for an opportunity to have fun there with Hoon, and it is going to be a little bit difficult for all the members of Wildcard to try and like create enough of an engage that doesn't just get stifled out by the arrow or the chain of corruption.
I remember some of the Twitter posts that I was seeing for Moose Hater, and he's very proud of a lot of his Poppy play. He gets a lot of damage done onto that champion, is willing to brawl out and duel out with a lot here. Taking a look at the level of mobility brought out by Dignitas, there are quite a few things the Steadfast Presence can stop.
Yeah.
More specifically for the counter
Mostly
matchup
just for Hoon.
Try and deal with Hoon up there.
This was one of the matchups that you were seeing every now and then up in the top lane as a counter to Fiora, but it's not as though it's a free matchup, right? There's still a lot of different characters that can really kind of shut down Fiora over the rest of the game. And Mark, I can hear that. Thank you. I can still hear myself, Mark.
Wait. Rafa, come back to us for a second and mute. Okay, we're good. Don't mind.
He's trying to clip that. I guarantee.
Don't mind our behind-the-scenes things right now. Rafa's trying to troll the living daylights out of Josh.
Okay.
So let's get back into the game right here. I mean, Wildcard, They got to come back onto this one. So far, that game number 1, it was a beautiful game plan from Dignitas, executed to near absolute perfection. It does seem like they're following through on their next game plan. Lots of zone control to come out, lots of pick and poke, as well as the side lane abuse of Hoon on the Fiora.
Yeah. I'm kind of looking at this game at this point, kind of like the rest of the season, right? Especially for these two teams. And while we are looking at how well the players are growing because they've had so much success, you can kind of evaluate them a little bit differently, right? And one of the things that both these teams are kind of jockeying for is the opportunity to play CLG Faith in the first round of the playoffs, right? CLG Faith has been struggling quite a bit, and both these teams want to make sure they can go as far as possible. Now, Wildcard, as we already touched on a little bit today, Wildcard are definitely not likely to be relegated from this position, right? They are doing so well, and the top 2 teams from the divisionals in playoffs are actually going to be the ones that will avoid the relegation promotion tournament towards the end of the split. So far, you know, they're already setting themselves up for some great seats.
Wildcard, they're not going to have to deal with that promotion relegations as long as they do well in playoffs, and the seeding will give them a lot of that leniency to have a good playoffs run. I want to bring the attention to the jungle pathing, as both junglers are going to be starting bot side, but more of the oddball jungle, as we don't really see Nunu that often, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, Nunu's definitely one of these characters, super cheesy, as a very early barrier. I think he thought he had Ignite, I'm going to be real. But that's definitely one of the situations where Nunu is actually one of these characters that really tends to spam ganks quite a bit. It's usually not about scaling into the game because as far as tanks go, Nunu's a pretty trash tank, right? Like, you just do not have that much HP to do anything. You only have the crowd control at the outset when you sit there and root yourself and pretend you are, you know, Moscow 5 from back in the day. That's all you really do. You just have a little bit of a shield, and so we're already seeing Keel try to set up for a gank after doing all of his bottom side camp.
I remember the old days of Nunu where it was just the goal is to make the enemy jungler as useless as you were.
Yes.
A quote from Odd One back in TSM back in the day. But look at this from Kill.
He's still there.
Yeah, still staying in that bush, expecting XU, looking for a lane gank, still in that bush.
Yeah. If they were paying a lot of attention towards the bush, or towards the tri-brush behind their turret, they could know that XU is around, but they should have figured it out now, and Keel has committed to this play.
What is Keel doing? Just still there. XU setting up. All right, here comes the snowball. Keel was reading the dive, and here comes Keel after XU. XU will go to the skies, but you can't catch the spider. The spider has flash. We'll be able to use that to get to safety, but that was the most interesting take of a counter gank I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, both of them just kind of chilling out, trying to find this opportunity to play in the bottom lane. It is summoner advantages going over towards the wildcard bottom lane, but they're losing out on quite a bit of farm. And now, going towards the rest of the map, Keel a little bit faster to move up, but that doesn't mean XU's done. Look at this. He's potentially setting up for a second attempt at a dive.
That wild card going to Wisconsin for that Nunu jungle cheese capital. Remember to tweet out hashtag NACL if you want some of your tweets to show up here on the broadcast. But Kill still looking around all over this map.
Whee!
As you said earlier, just looking for that first gank, looking for a dive, potentially onto Insanity, who has to dodge out from a snowball rolling in his lane.
Yeah. Insanity has also been having a bit of a tough time in the mid lane, right? Not necessarily knowing where Keel has been for most of this early laning phase does mean that the Jace has to play a little bit further back. And they really tend to come online like once you have that serrated Dirk available and aren't dealing with the same kind of just raw power from Orianna auto attacks. But this is not the same kind of... This is a pretty similar kind of game to what we were seeing in Game 1, right? The side lanes for Hoon and Tomo have been good, and now Soligo to make sure they dodge out, give over a little bit back to Insanity. At the same time, it's the side lanes that were winning for Dignitas in the first game.
Yeah, not bad in the grand scheme, because that attempted counter gank from Kill meant that XU didn't have a flash, which made it a little bit safer in the mid lane for Soligo right there just a moment ago. XU still looking for the next play to make. Lots of deep warding coming out from XU over into Kill's jungle on this bottom side. Kill's making a reset, not going to realize that a lot of his jungle's already been taken.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is absolutely a position where it feels as though Dignitas have identified, hey, we can leave Hoon to just kind of beat up on Moose Hater in the top lane, right? Even with his counter pick, Moose Hater is not finding any real opportunities. In fact, has had to go the early Bramble Vest this game. And admittedly, it is a buffed Bramble Vest compared to what it was before, but still, like, not going to be finding anything, as it's mostly just been about the bottom lane and trying to make sure Lens and Duo King don't get off the ground ever.
Kill right next to XU, who's setting up over in this mid lane. Not even realizing he's that close to XU at the moment. There is a control ward in the jungle of Kill, so lots of information given over, and Kill's going to walk right past it, finally spotting out with that sweeper. And XU's already poised and positioned bot side.
Yeah, and this wave coming out for Wildcard is going to be pushing towards Dignitas. They have to be very careful as XU steps on a plant, does reveal himself. Everybody should be able to back away. Shockwave.
Hide-and-go-seek coming out from the jungler's fight in the mid lane. Insanity pulled in by that Shockwave. Might get soloed by Saligo. Saligo flashes in and gets first blood against Insanity.
That's really big. Saligo has been one of these players we have to remember has a lot of LCS experience, and this is just Insanity, like, being a little bit greedy, right? Looking for the opportunity to get damage and constantly fishing for this Q at max range to hit Saligo with the rest of it, but not flashing that. There's nowhere left for you to go. This is just 100% a spot for Saligo to walk you down. If you wanted to get out, you definitely needed to flash earlier. It is going to be a bit of a tougher spot for Insanity, and it will be giving over priority for the Dragon to Wildcard.
Cocoon lands on the Lens, flashes over the wall. Arcane Shift, mind you, to get to safety. Dragon grabbed nonetheless by Wildcard. They'll be able to take that. You know, big props to Saligo in that mid lane. Solo kill against Insanity. Both of these players were playing in Academy last split.
Yep.
Facing
Snowball.
off semi-pro, but here comes Snowball coming out from Kill, able to get the knock-up, finds it onto Tomo. Tomo in a lot of trouble. Burns his flash to get away.
Yeah. And honestly, the fact that Keel is finding so much purchase into this game, right? He's getting, flashes here. He's getting a lot of wards and a lot of respect. He's pushing everybody back because they know that it's all about whether or not Keel will be able to find some of these ganks. But we've kind of completely been ignoring the fact that XU, he hasn't really found anything, as now they've looked for another snowball.
Here we go again. This one on Diamond. Diamond does have flash. Does he want to burn it? Chip damage on the back end will flash away. But a repeat gank coming out from Keel in these snowballs.
Yeah, I mean, Keel has spent so much time down here in the bottom lane trying to make these snowballs work. Hasn't actually found a kill just quite yet, but I mean, now that both flashes are down, now that there's no summoners, he just goes directly mid.
Oh my goodness, and there's no flash for Insanity, keep in mind. Shockwave available for Saligo, pulls Insanity right back in, and Keel coast to coast, butt to butt, he's gonna whoop Dignitas.
Just going from one lane to another, back to back, butt to butt. Man, Insanity has just been having a tough time here in the mid lane, right? This Jace pick doesn't have great ways to try and escape a lot of these ganks, and so far, I mean, Keel is kind of skipping a lot of camps in order to make these happen, but XU has also been skipping a lot of camps, and he's not been able to find the same kind of opportunities, and now Keel spots him out trying to do the Rift Herald. There's no priority here for Dignitas, so they just need to make sure it resets.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's not enough vision for Kill right here, so they're not realizing that XU is a little bit on the lonely side, even with that call coming out from Duo King, so they'll just give this up to Dignitas.
Yeah, that's real too. Where the junglers like Kill in my games? Why do they always have to care about their own farm when they could just make sure that I can farm? I respect it.
I need a jungler that stays, and I need a third laner. That's what I need.
Yeah. I love
Moose Hater versus Hoon.
I love the idea from Hoon there, right? Throwing out the early parry to try and catch the steadfast presence from Moose Hater, but Moose Hater didn't throw it out. That's why you see all the emotes going back and forth. Dignitas, they're a little bit behind, and crucially, like, they're a team composition that can scale, but
I love
David is crying. I promise. Like, he's just like, guys, can't do anything. There's constantly a Nunu in my lane. He goes to farms one camp, then he's back.
Kill, get out of my walls. Why are you here? Frosty Nomad is what we call this champion right here. I mean, Kill used to go by that name, and that was a big champion used to play back in that day. I think it was like Emissary Esports, the way back in the day of amateur. This is such a throwback and such a treat to see.
Yeah, it's so funny. And look at this. He's setting up. Does he want to go bottom lane? Does he want to go mid lane? Like, XU's covering for the bottom lane, but Keel's like, which one looks tastier? Looks to be the bottom lane.
Woo, here we go. It's the biggest snowball ever. making an express trip over to Tomo. Oh, Chain of Corruptions kills in a bad spot, and Diamond is cashing in on that kill. His shenanigans finally going to go awry.
Dang, finally, they get a bit of a shutdown there on the Nunu, but like he has already made his mark felt on this game, and Dignitas
10,000 steps in.
for sure. I mean, the fact that he's constantly moving around and constantly creating all of these problems for Dignitas has been a fantastic job from Keel, right? Keel never really feels like they are out of the game. And now the fact that Ezreal and Zyra have pushed Diamond and Tomo underneath the turret is so much more difficult for Tomo and Diamond to farm because they've had so much attention paid and they have no vision control. They just never know if Keel is around.
Don't know where he's going to be. He's the boogeyman of this game right now, and Dignitas feel like they got to fear him to some respect, especially bot side. But look at this. XU, mid lane, wants to get Saligo. Saligo still has flash, and it appears it's taken a lot more to kind of alleviate poor Insanity of the pressure he's been getting all game.
Yeah. Insanity, I mean, he's doing okay. He's got the Hex Trigger already built up, so he can deal with the double magic damage coming out from Keel and Saligo, but still, I mean, a very accelerated Saligo on this Orianna has been one of the classic champions that Saligo has played over and over the years, and so we'll see how well Saligo will be able to play this one out. Remember, this is a champion that is so focused on the scaling aspect, right? Level 16 Orianna is absolutely ridiculous. It's not quite like Ascendant level, but still, the amount of pressure that you can put out with the damage from your Shockwave means that a lot of teams will struggle to deal with it.
And the zone control provides that ball being there is such a threat. You can place it anywhere at a choke point. You got Keel on Nunu, who can put the absolute zero to zone out even more. So many different tools for Wildcard to kind of control the field of play. Next Dragon going to be picked up right now. Wildcard will be able to grab a Drake. Dignitas want to grab a kill topside. Moose Hater looking to run away, but you're taking the wrong direction. We'll flash right through that wall. The rappel is not close enough. Moose Hater, he's going to be able to make the escape.
Yeah, everybody's going to be backing away, but Dignitas not going to be too worried about chasing him down. They're going to be using the opportunity, pushing him out of lane to take more control. As XU, oh, he can't even drop the Rift Herald. That's actually so big for Moose Hater. He gets to go back and farm this wave.
Moose Hater, he'll just walk right back to lane after giving a good old yeet to XU. Kill is there for protection. Down will go the Rift Herald. It's going to take quite the walk to get over towards the tower, but this might get a turnaround right now. XU taking a bit too much damage.
Yeah.
We'll back off to the safety of Hoon.
Yeah, they need to make sure that this actually crashes, but XU doesn't have a lot of HP to play with. There is a large window now where Moose Hater's steadfast presence isn't up. 10 more seconds. They should be able to get this crash off. Who gets the gold? Hoon will be a recipient of some of it, but because so much damage was taken, they don't get the whole thing. Duo King!
Oh, a lot of trouble. Duo King's going to be in. Tries to put out the ultimate. Lens wants to turn it around. We'll grab one right back onto Tomo, but Diamond is there to complete the 2-for-1.
Yeah, 2v2 coming out in favor of Dignitas, but look at this. Insanity, he's also been chunked out. The Shockwave used by Saligo. He's just trying to farm some of this wave at this point. Saligo's taking so much control, and oh, is this the smackdown?
Oh, here we go. Hoon versus Moose Hater. We've been waiting for them to swing. Well, we're going to wait some more.
Yeah, right. I mean, good use of the steadfast presence, making sure that Hoon cannot actually complete the fight, but take a look at the other side of the map. Yeah, Duo King already so low, and this comes out from Tomo, right? Pops the Yomu, flashes forward, just not quite enough damage. A couple of auto attacks that are a bit surprising to me, right? I think that those were A moves in order to try and hit something with just not quite enough mouse precision. Tomo ends up going down, but still, 2v2.
Duo King will use the cleanse, so it's just chip damage at this very moment, and it's not really going to get you too much else. There's not much Dignitas are trying to set up here. Rift Herald is down. Should be spawning quite soon, so they have some time to send some pressure into that direction if they want to.
Yeah. So, everybody kind of starts to set up a little bit more. We do see that Wildcard is in a much better position this game than in Game 1, but they don't scale quite as well with the new Karthus, and now another snowball.
A snowball comes out, doesn't land onto anything, and Kill is the one taking the damage. Kill is the one that has to leave. Tomo and Diamond, I mean, Enchanted Crystal Arrow is one form of crowd control, but you also have the Chain of Corruptions, two things to stop this Nunu.
Yeah. Hoon holding onto the Demolish proc, trying to get his minions to die. As Dignitas, they're now playing in force on the bottom side. Look at that damage.
Yeah, that's good chunk onto Duo King. It's a mage bot laner. Zyra is squishy.
Okay.
And taking a good bite right now. Now the fight coming out. Moose Hater versus Hoon topside.
Oh, high roll again.
Moose
Another
Hater,
high roll.
long way to run. Doesn't really luck out too much with the vitals, except for that last one to proc through. Has one more over on the top side. Moose Hater doesn't want to give it back, but close to trading on the 1v1.
Yeah, wow. A couple of high rolls from Hoon. None of them going into the wall that Moose Hater would be able to just ignore those. But now Dignitas are coming around one more time. Lens is the only one here. He gets hit by an arrow.
Ooh, nice on the arrow. The follow-up with the cocoon and Lens. Unfortunately, it seemed like his mouse died with how much crowd control he was forced to stand still for.
Yeah, nothing to go on there. And Tomo and Diamond once again building themselves a lead. Duo King, no cleanse.
Oh, and there we go. Jumping through will be XU. Punishes onto Duo King. I see a snowball. I see Keel. See good old Frosty Nomad running down the lane. Will bump up onto Diamond and out. Walks away from the chain of corruption.
Yeah, just barely going
Menace.
wide. Yeah, this. So one of the big things that Keel is going to be struggling with later on is the fact that every time he comes in, he needs to do it from Fog of War, or he just takes a cocoon to the face, you know?
Yeah.
He does have the Radiant Virtue already completed, so he will be relatively tanky in this game, but it's still one of those things where if you don't get your ultimate started off, you're just going to get blown up, and there is so much ranged poke, so much ranged damage coming out from Dignitas that they can absolutely take control of one single player. And now Dignitas, they're starting to set up for this upcoming dragon. They're here first.
And this is working really well for Dignitas because of how well Hoon is doing on this top side.
Yeah.
Has been constantly punishing Moose Hater, which means you have no side lane control to constantly be shoved in. Teleport's coming up soon for Hoon. Don't think it'll be there for this next dragon fight unless it gets stalled out for a pretty long time, but both teams looking for a setup.
Yeah. Oh.
Ooh.
Barely missing.
A nice sidestep from Saligo. Still eat the shock blast on the opposite end, but better than eating that crowd control. Snowball comes out and Dignitas have priority on the river.
Yeah, remember, Duo King has no cleanse as soon as the Chain of Corruption is up. Oh. Just tickling his butt cheeks. There it is, there it is, there it is.
Oh, I can't. Keel's going in. Ultimate comes out. Josh, damn you. All right. Waiting for the shockwave. Here we go. True Shot Barrage. Here comes Moose Hater. Gets the knockup onto XU. XU taking a lot of damage. But Saligo. Sombreros to shockwave. Insanity's in. What can Insanity do? We'll take Lens down with the Moose Hater. Gets it for Tomo. But there is Hoon wanting a piece of Moose Hater. Tanky boy. He beat. Tries to get the slam against the wall. But Hoon will not be denied. Finally bullied away by the rest of Wildcard, who will stack the deck, stack the numbers. It's not enough to deny Hoon from a kill. Shutdown found by Saligo.
And everybody's so low, and Dignitas still have XU, so we're going to get a round 2 here in just a moment, Eric. Everybody's going to be coming back, and XU's trying to keep people on the map, trying to prevent Saligo from backing away, because he does have the teleport. Both Hoon and Insanity will be back here in just a moment. Hey, Hoon got a turret during all that. I believe he toppled the mid lane turret as everybody is starting to come back onto the map. We're going to get to do it all over again, and this time, there's not everybody's ultimate. Moose Hater will not have the flash. Half the flashes are gone.
So many things are going to be down. And this is where that CDR starts to shine, Josh. The bot lane of Dignitas. Those poke tools are coming off cooldown. That being said, though, Wildcard will have first foot into here, but Insanity has poke to chase them out. Oh, Wildcard got to move fast. Moose Hater's coming on the flank. Arrow lands on Saligo. Saligo down to half health. Ultimate going to be popped away, but there is Hoon. He spots Saligo and will shut him down. Down a man's going to be a wild card. And you want to stack the deck? No, let's cut the deck with Hoon, who will get a double kill. Moose Hater falls by the wayside, and the dragon will be taken by Wildcard. But everything else belongs to Dignitas.
Wow, are they going to move over towards the Baron? It's not even up yet, Eric. It feels like these games have been wild. Keel does get spotted a little bit. Insanity's still going to be looking for him. Should know exactly where he is. Is a shock blast going to be enough? Is there going to be the damage there? You got to land it.
It's going to be a long run for this Yeti. He'll heal it up. XC will be on the opposite end. He should get cut off, right?
There's no horrifying thing.
No way.
The horrifying thing is he dies here and Baron is spawning.
Oh,
Baron is spawning.
You're right. It's up. There's no smite. Hoon's pushing the side lane. It's giving two things that Wildcard have to respond to. They have to respond to some Baron pressure that they're not 100% sure on. Now able to spot that up. Or Hoon, they leave Hoon by himself. He takes a turret.
Yeah, and we get to see this fight once again. Remember, Hoon. Oh, this is the first fight. This is the first fight, right? Yeah, Hoon gets the mid lane turret, and Insanity goes in. The fact that he gets off the shock blast right before he dies does allow him to trade out. But Fiora, when you get this strong, is so hard to deal with. Look at the number of people that are trying to hit him while he stands on his healing field, while he has the Divine Sunderer. He just does so much healing. It takes forever for them to actually take him down. And it buys enough time for Dignitas to get their teleports back on the map, right? Both Insanity and Hoon teleporting towards the side, and Hoon finds a fantastic flank. This is another thing that you were not seeing from 2022 Hoon. He was not going for these plays, but now he's strong. He's looking for these side angles, takes down 2 people, one of them a shutdown. It's just a cleanup from that. But Eric, Keel secured the Ocean Dragon. They are 1 dragon away from getting the Ocean Soul, and that could be a massive equalizer considering how much damage and how long these fights are taking.
And the poke as well. The poke means a little bit less.
Ooh.
What in the world, XU? We'll just
That's
trim
not a tickling.
away a little at the top of Duo King, and that plant no longer exists. It got burnt away. It's a wildfire, and Dignitas have ignited.
Absolutely crazy stuff. And as we start to take control of this top side of the map, remember Hoon is basically unmatchable by Moose Hater at this point, up nearly 4,000 gold over in the side lane. Diamond.
Oh, Shockwave. Almost one combo to take down Diamond. 300 health remains, but can't get past it. Oh, what does get past? True shot barrage from Lens to get a kill.
Yeah, I mean, that's a shutdown as well going over, but Hoon just hitting this turret. Duo King coming to try and do something about it, but Hoon can just leave. There's no shots. Yeah, okay. If Keel had managed to turn that and, like, get around the bend like Tokyo Drift style, like I would have been so upset with Riot Games at that point. Like absolutely crazy stuff coming through, but not gonna be able to do it. And instead, killing Diamond puts a big stop to a lot of the pressure that Dignitas were creating, and they're kind of suffering from success because Hoon has already taken so many of these side lane turrets. It's hard for him to actually do damage to the next one.
But that being said, I mean, when Dignitas apply pressure elsewhere, if it does peel away the rest of Wildcard, Hoon could take objectives in no time, can take structures in no time. That bot lane turret already had a huge chunk taken out of it with some alone time spent by Hoon. And Hoon's already shown that he's not afraid to take the tower right in front of you. I mean, what's Moose Hater going to do? He's on a Poppy against a very, very fed Fiora.
Yeah. It also feels, once again, right, like the game ended a couple seconds ago last time around, and this is a much longer game coming out, or expecting to be a much longer game coming out from Wildcard versus Dignitas. And remember, that's one of the big things that Wildcard has been relying upon for so many of their games. So Ligo's already level 14, but the problem is the Dignitas members are also scaling quite well. As an arrow?
Oh, here it comes. Snowball doesn't get the knockup onto XU. XU will be able to repel away. But that being said, arrow came out, and that's all you spent. It's a short cooldown. Dignitas will have it up soon. 40 seconds until Drake.
Ooh, XU gets caught.
Oh, Shockwave. Okay, one pick. Not going to find a kill, though. XU runs low. We'll have to grab a few fruits to get some healing right back, but it's still Dignitas holding control of these choke points leading into Dragon.
Yeah, and it's so difficult to engage upon them just because your primary way of doing so is just running at them in a straight line, and it's so easy to land all these Archer ultimates from that position. And so it should be a bit of a stop from the Dragon stacking. I wonder if Keel actually like suicides to try and steal it right on back.
He might. It's a very Keel move to do, or getting caught out right now. Chain of Corruption. Sanity takes that kill. You're down a jungler, so you can't get this soul. Gonna take quite the steal from Lens on a true shot.
Yeah. Dignitas now turning over. Great awareness, knowing that Keel needs to come in very, very quickly, and Dignitas will be stopping Tomo.
No, never mind. Don't go after the Drake. Let's
They can do this. They can do this.
And now this gives Wildcard an opportunity to take down XU. XU has to
Who does teleport,
to
though?
get up. You got to take down XU fast, and XU's down. This could be Dragon Soul. Teleport's coming out. Moose Hater's going to be able to join the fight, and now Duo King runs low.
Where's
has
Hoon?
to run
Hoon's
out.
to the back.
7K health remains. Oh, here comes Moose Hater's able to get the stun against Insanity. Insanity has to flash out, and here comes Hoon looking for the flank. We'll put the ultimate onto Sligo. Chant the Crystal Arrow. Hoon wants to chase over, but runs low on health. Wildcard, they have positioning, and they have their Yeti walking right over to the Drake. It's gonna be Dragon Soul for Wildcard.
That is a huge equalizer in this game. It's been so difficult for them to go for these scraps, but they've been catching out members of Dignitas, and it's supposed to be Dignitas with the actual pick comp. But Insanity on the other side of the map, not even going to be getting a whole lot of damage on this structure, just feeding another wave to the turret gods. And now Hoon and Insanity, neither of them with teleports, they're all getting spotted out as they start to move forward.
I just want to say, big by Lens, opting to not use the true shot to try and get a steal. Just tries to get it on the kill on the Tomo, and that's exactly what was needed.
And good stuff here. I mean, it just feels as though most of the things coming through from Dignitas have been correct, but this is the second time that Lens actually snipes somebody out, and you should be able to know this, right? It's not exactly a surprise that it's coming for you, just things that they can get away. Because Dignitas were so confident in their ability to do the Dragon, and the fact that that gets upset, Wildcard just gets so much extra damage, they get an extra kill, and even though Hoon has a fantastic flank TP, they know exactly where he is. Hoon, we've been so excited about how well he's been able to get some of these flanks, but the target selection here goes after the one person who can actually escape him over the wall.
And this Ocean Drake, we talked about it. It's a lot of poke for Dignitas, so it gives a lot of survivability for Wildcard to deal with that poke and just heal it off. Here's the bigger problem, though. Hoon is still fed. Hoon has been farming up for days, now has a wealth and economy, and he can just walk in, ignore Moose Hater, take structures.
As the Hull Breaker, takes Moose Hater forever to kill him. The rest of the map going a little bit better as we start to pay more attention towards the Baron buff.
Arrow onto Sligo, but too many members of Wildcard behind Sligo. Dignitas would lose out big time if they chose to take that. Wow, Wildcard. They see Hoon inside the base. Hoon doesn't have teleport. Oh, are they going to go for the coin flip right here? Oh, they are. A
lot of poke here, joking.
They are. Absolute Zero looking to go out. Will it be secured? Yes, it is. Wildcard able to grab it, and to grab two right off the back of it, but XU staying up. Will finally get dropped. Kill going after Tomo. Will take a good old jump. Chases him over the wall, and one more auto is all that's needed. The snowball's being thrown. You don't have enough muscle in that arm. Finally gets close enough to take down Tomo. Three fallen by the wayside for Dignitas. Baron picked up by Wildcard.
And Wildcard, they're just throwing haymaker after haymaker in this game. Yes, the inhibitor is picked up by Hoon on the other side, but wow, the way that Wildcard are constantly trying to find fights back. And the big thing here, Eric, Sligo has finally hit level 16. He is the strongest character on the map right now. So much extra money, about 2,000 here over Insanity. And his ultimates are going to absolutely destroy everybody on Dignitas. There's not a real frontline on this side of the map. They are so focused on trying to use the range to their advantage. And Sligo on this Orianna is going to do such a good job at preventing them from ever being able to bunch up and kite together.
Quite the team Wildcard is. In a lot of these very clutch moments, in a lot of these big team fight moments, that's when you start to see them shine the most. They kind of thrive in a lot of this chaos. You know, the core of this group did it during Proving Grounds to upset 100 Thieves Academy in the first round, take it all the way to a top 6, and now in the regular season of NACL, they are still shining bright as they take it to one of our contenders for first place in the regular season in Dignitas.
Yeah, I mean, it really... Earlier, we were talking about how much of a growth we had seen from Manui. This time, it's about a huge opportunity for Sligo to kind of carry this game through,
Most
right?
definitely.
He's got all the money. He's got this long history of playing in the Academy/Challenger circuits in order to try and find their way in. And he's on the most veteran member here for Wildcard to actually close this one out. And it's not as though it's suddenly become easy for them to do so, right? You still have to contend with all the other things that we were saying Dignitas had. They have a ton of engage tools, they have a ton of pick tools, they have a ton of range alpha strike, right? If you land an arrow onto someone like Lens here, they can just get blown up from 100 units or 1,000 miles away.
And then, of course, Hoon in the side lanes will always be a threat to Moose Hater. Now, here comes out the arrow. Ooh, there's quite a bit of stun duration onto that sucker, but Saligo will be able to step out of it and take the tower. Pretty sure going to be alleviated over
going.
for the top side. Moose Hater still walking away
There's the true
from
damage.
Hoon. Oh, ultimate going to be used, so Moose Hater should go down here unless, yes,
There it
gets parried away by Hoon. Times it beautifully. Absolute zero. Lands onto nothing just to zone out the rest of Dignitas
out.
going forward. Wait, you're kidding me. You're kidding me. Moose Hater's actually going to get out of there, and Wildcard are still continuing with the pressure.
Yeah, Tomo almost getting sniped out by the True Shot Barrage as another turret will fall. It's not the one that they were sieging, but they are able to move over for it. The Ocean Soul making it so hard for the poke of Dignitas to matter as an arrow lands.
Oh, another arrow onto Saligo. Saligo's not in that much trouble, though. Inhibitor will go down. Hoon still pressuring over in the bottom lane. This might be the place Dignitas play through. They might be looking more and more for this backdoor. They might be counting on Hoon, sending it all to him on a prayer to take this back. Teleport coming out. Hoon's going to take one of the Nexus towers, but he's in a bad position right now, and Saligo looking for the follow-through, parrying out the shockwave. Moose Hater's getting low. The heal being found by Hoon. It is Hoon in time, baby, and he cannot be
Another
denied.
one, another challenger.
They'll send another challenger to try and deal with the beast that is Hoon, but he will dance around them and take their vitals, proccing them left and right to slay.
He got the juggler.
And get it on a 1v5. What in the world is Hoon?
And there's a freaking Elder Dragon spawning right after the fact. That Hoon kills Keel at the perfect time is huge. Hoon has had so much growth since he had in 2022, and now Keel trying to knock them away. There is no way.
No
Dignitas, they're 80 carries.
No, Tomo's down. Diamond has to take a blast plant, but I don't think he escapes this. Yes, he will. He does have XU still there. Elder's on the table, but you're down to Marksman, man.
You're down to Marksman. You're down an entire member. Hoon's going to be dead for 20 more seconds. But Wildcard, they have to be so careful. They can't afford to allow XU to be alive while they're actually doing this.
Saligo.
Saligo, he's either a genius or an idiot.
Oh, he's been spotted out. He's going after Insanity. Insanity's coming in. Arrow goes out. Shockwave doesn't land onto anyone. Oh, the repel's not close enough. Oh, able to get the kill.
He's a genius.
That's one down. He's a genius, man. He's the biggest brain you've ever seen. Lens gets a double kill. Wildcard on the comeback. Get Elder Drake.
That play was going to make or break Saligo's game here. He stays alive. They pick up the Elder Dragon, and despite how much pressure Hoon has put on the map, the rest of it has fallen apart. The Elder Dragon's gotten picked up. They have the Ocean Soul. They do a ton of damage, and they take none. And again, it just comes back to the fact that Wildcard, they are just so good at these really weird situations, right? Tomo getting caught out here when you're situation where you have to make all the right decisions. Wildcard are the ones who are constantly asking questions. And here, the fact that Saligo takes a long flank coming all around, he doesn't know what kind of vision that Dignitas has here. He's just assuming what can and cannot work, but he knows he's got so much extra tankiness. And by the time he comes over here, yeah, he ends up sombreroing, but it doesn't matter. There's not enough damage coming out from Insanity and Diamond to kill him off. XU doesn't commit for it either, and with so many members dead, they finally get the Elder Dragon.
Josh, you've said it a few times today. I think you got to say it about Saligo. 2022 Saligo would not make that play.
No.
Still makes the attempt for it on this Wildcard roster, but now it is barren for Wildcard. They are fighting tooth and nail, man. What a wild game.
Dude, both the Baron and the Elder Dragon still for about another minute coming out for Wildcard. It really is all about whether or not Hoon can overcome all of these buffs to hold on enough for the rest of his team. But I don't even know if he wins the duel up against Moose Hater anymore, right? While the Elder Dragon is still running, Moose Hater just does so much more damage.
There we go. Might have the closing moments right now. Wildcard. They've gotten dubs against so many of our established squads throughout the regular season. They've upset so many teams.
Oh, Saligo backed.
Now, look at this. Hoon, bad spot to be. Saligo took the back, looking to get the kill onto Hoon and alleviate this pressure from Moose Hater, but Hoon's able to slide out. This leaves Wildcard with 3 on this top side, Josh.
And they've already used the arrow. Diamond doesn't have any engage tools, and Moose Hater's trying to make sure that Hoon cannot back, can't go for anything. Saligo's still over there.
Oh my goodness. Wildcard. Right in front of the door. They need one more.
Teleports.
So close they be.
Hoon's got
Shot clock
behind them.
coming in. Here comes Hoon, able to get the flank, wants to find the big play. Is it enough? Absolute Zero goes out. Hoon's taking a lot of damage, wants to find out on the lens. Able to go golden will be Hoon, but he's taking damage for days, man. Will not fall, will slide away. One more Nexus Tower remains, and here comes Moose Hater. Oh, Arcane Shift away from Lens, will get away from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Sligo still holding through. There's a shot on XU. He will fall. Holding the line will be Moose Hater in front of Vood in time. Will slam him down. And with the Nexus exposed, game number 2 belongs to Wildcard.
Oh my god, Wildcard going 1-1. They take Cloud9 down 2-0. They go 1-1 with CLG. All the other teams are saying these guys might be the best. They go 1-1 with our current leaders, Dignitas. It just doesn't feel real, man. This provisional team every single time is putting a stop to these reigns of terror from all of our challenger rosters. And what a way to do it in, too, right? Sligo stepping up and having a good game. It wasn't about the Moose Hater standing up to Hoon, who was, I mean, let's be real, Hoon was totally dominating it. It was about the veterans standing up and absolutely taking Insanity to task.
Wow. Wow is all I can really say about that one. I mean, it was all the chips put onto Hoon to dominate that side lane and take Dignitas back. And how close was Hoon? One of those Nexus towers went down. They had to answer with Sligo, but somehow, some way, it's the team fight that we get out of Wildcard time and time again. When things are most chaotic is when they thrive, and thrive they will to take that game number 2 tied up against Dignitas. What a well-fought game it was. We're going to take a moment to take a break, and when we return, we'll have Rafa on the other side. I know you guys want to see it. It's an interview with Wildcard.
Welcome back, gamers. We have the Nunu and Willem God himself. It is Keel, a specialty only known by those from the OG days of Frosty Nomad. My goodness, Keel. I mean, like, every single time we have Wildcard on stream, even if the first game doesn't really go your way and it's really convincing for the other team, y'all never say die. And you managed to bring it back from the brink, and my goodness, I just want to go through, like, what were the last, like, moments of, like, that last game? What were the calms like? You know, what were the emotions like? Were y'all calm? Were y'all freaking out? Like, just run me through that.
Not freaking out, but just very loud, because when Fiora is in the game, the whole game just revolves around her.
Yeah.
So just making sure we wouldn't lose to, like, a backdoor, wouldn't get 1v2'd. And then, yeah, like, it was just really, like, we had to not make a mistake and die, or it probably was, like, gonna be really, really hard to come back. So, Moose with the TP flank, Sligo killing them all, and then, like, getting the Baron Elder and just winning the fight. It was all just really perfect, man.
I bet the pop-offs at the end were just immaculate to listen to. Honestly, if you have comms, I need to
Someone probably has them, yeah.
I need to hear them, bro. Just for the serotonin boost. Those are the banger games, of course. But for those that don't know, I want to take a few steps backwards in time and go back to the last time that you were really in, I guess, the Academy ecosystem. It was after CLG Summer 2021, and a lot of people kind of meme that whole year of like, oh yeah, CLG 10th place in LCS, 10th place in Academy. But I feel like that was a very unjust way of judging your performance on that team, because I remember watching the games and looking through a lot of the stats that you were one of the few who were trying to keep CLG Academy during that time in the running and just doing everything you could. But how that really affected, I guess, the perspective of you as a player and as an individual valuable talent in the ecosystem going forward, because ever since then you've not been given another shot, at least on a challenger or a fixed team since then.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was, like, shocked when the season ended. Like, I never stopped trying. I was, like, the hardest worker on my team, just, like, really, really trying. And I honestly expected to get, like, multiple offers in that off season. Like, that's just how I felt I played. I thought I did pretty good circumstantially, and just nothing came of it, which is okay. Like, I didn't give up, but I clearly just did, like, affect perception.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm just really glad NACL exists, because I get to just play, like, play in, like, the same environment, play in the same league, and like, change any narratives that might exist. Yeah.
There you go. I mean, even during 2022, you didn't stop grinding. You, I think, were even a sub for the 100 Thieves next roster during that time, and just keeping yourself at least focused during up that time, but being able to now play for Wildcard, as even if it's only a provisional roster, you guys just took a game off the current #1 team in the standings right now in Dignitas Challengers. They are still #1 since you guys did not manage to get the 2-0 sweep, but after the first game, it seemed like they're about to sweep y'all. So now you guys are on track to not only be the best provisional team that we've had in quite a very long time. I mean, I think the last time we've seen a team from the amateur side of things was No Org back in 2021. And so, you know, what does it mean to you and the rest of the Wildcard League just to be able to come through with this dominance and just have this statement of saying, we're not just trying to be the best provisional team, we're trying to be the best team in Challengers League?
Yeah, that's why I was really hoping we'd 2-0 so we could say we were tied for first.
Yeah.
But it's okay, because we're still like up there, and then like as long as you keep it up and then have the chance to still win in playoffs, everything's good. So it does mean a lot to me. I'm glad we just keep winning.
There you go. And like, I know that, you know, just going back to back, trying to keep yourself motivated, you know, it's not a difficult thing for you guys, because I can tell, and I think the rest of the audience knows how fired up you guys have so much to prove. Even when you're at the top of the standings, it always still feels like you're still having to prove yourselves, and you're having to like show that like our wins are not flukes, our wins are not gimmicks. We're legitimately playing well at certain stages of the game. Even when there's weaknesses that are exploited by teams, you find ways to learn and overcome them. So what has that been like outside of the game? Like, do you guys talk about it as a team? Do you guys talk about the social perception that you guys have, or do you guys just kind of shrug it off and say, nah, keep our heads down, stick to the grind?
Well, at the start it was just funny, because like it was just funny like how off it was, and Moose just had his name in the Discord as like last place NACL top laner, just stuff like that. So at the beginning it was funny. At this point I don't really care, because I think it's kind of obvious at this point. And yeah, that's like I was really looking forward today, just to have a chance to beat like another like top team, to like legitimize ourselves. So I'm just glad we did an okay showing today. I think game 1 was just a really rough game from draft and like play, and yeah, I'm just glad game 2 looked a lot better.
There you go, man. A couple more questions related to outside of the game. I know you were just speaking to me a few moments before we started. Some of y'all are in Vegas, the others are not with you at the moment, and I know that you said there's not much interesting going on outside of the game. You're just doing homework and stuff. But you and Moosehead are in college. You know, what is that work, or this balance between collegiate or college and, of course, trying to play in Challengers League?
I mean, it's just another hurdle. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just like Duo King is on high ping, and then Moose and I just have other obligations. Just like more hurdles aside from just being a provisional team.
Yeah.
That make it like even more important, or like show that we just have the skill and that we're still making time, and yeah, it's just good.
You gotta just do what you gotta do to make it work, and the fact that you guys are having this much success, I mean, it speaks volumes about your success so far. I think you guys have a lot to proud to be of so far for your split. Before I let you go, man, is there any other last shout-outs that you want to have, or just anything that you would like to address the fans with?
I have a question to you, Rafa. Is it still the biggest upset in amateur that the core of AGT is doing well in NACL? Or do you have an updated stance on this? Yeah, after last one, yeah.
Or the AoE ginger turmeric one?
Either or, yeah, either or.
Oh man, well, I got mean to all hell for that call, which, you know, it's respectable in hindsight. But you know, I don't know if this one was like the biggest upset. Like, Dignitas Challengers has been a very, very dominant team, but I still think that like the collapse of Team Liquid Academy versus Barrage was just crazy out of left field. I think the hype with you guys, Wildcard, going into Dignitas Challengers, it's not like you guys were, you know, 0 and whatever.
Yeah,
you're not like the 16th place team and then you took a game off of them, right? So
yeah, I'm just showing.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's it's always good to bring up that moment. I God, you got me blushing here, man. But you know what? This is already going to show that you have a talent and knack for broadcast if you ever want to go into it. You already got a chance. I think you casted with It was Deathstrux and Beatdown last time you were up on.
And Joshi, yeah. It was fun, yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll definitely love to have you back on the broadcast desk anytime you're free and available. But for the rest of us, we're going to be sending Keel off so that he can enjoy the rest of his evening alongside the Wildcard boys. When we come back, it's going to be our final series of the day with Evil Geniuses Challengers and 100 Thieves Challengers. So stay tuned.